Since my last video over Splitgate 2, I've thought, I've pondered, I've been so baffled by what I've seen surrounding its marketing, I'm doing the unthinkable, making a second video in a row on the same topic. Wild, I know. Before the fans come barreling down on me, the last video wasn't a game review and this one isn't either. Instead, it's a review of what this game promised, what it told us it'd be versus what it is. So if you're having fun and me calling this game Apex with portals makes you big sad, by all means, portal away. But if you dare stay, I am going to point out exactly how its entire marketing campaign has been misleading at best and manipulative hypocrisy at worst. Prepare to walk a trail oozing with false promises, over-exaggerated hype, and the stinkiest, most rotten offender of all. PR speak.
We appreciate you guys and we appreciate all the feedback. That's not the 1047 way. I'm sorry about the $80 bundle. It's crazy. It was a shock to me when I found out, being player friendly, player first. And so I want to apologize. I appreciate all the feedback, and for that I am truly sorry.
Hey, maybe this video will do so well my degrees in public relations and marketing will finally pay off.
Loser! You're a loser!
Let's get into it. Starting off with what has broken my brain the most about Splitgate 2's difference between marketing and the final product, the blatant disregard for its target audience. What target audience? Well, unlike my video on Black Ops 6, we actually don't have to guess this at all. 1047's made it plain as day they're using a marketing strategy called enemy positioning. This is when, to promote the relevancy of your own brand or product, you spotlight, or sometimes create or hyperbolize, an enemy to oppose. Enemy positioning isn't inherently dishonest, sometimes it's perfectly valid, like ad campaigns for cleaning supplies. Bad smells are the enemy, buy this to get rid of them. Heart disease is bad, buy this healthy food to stay healthy. Here's a plumbus, buy this to... But sometimes it can be used dishonestly. Like if the enemy, if it even exists, isn't really as bad as the brand claims it is, or in the exact opposite and more relevant to today's video, the enemy is real, but the brand is not the hero to oppose them as they say they are. When it comes to Splitgate 2, they tell us exactly what enemy that they're positioning as their method of trying to promote their own relevancy. Modern, high-profile FPS games.
We are disappointed with the state of the genre. We do feel that the genre is in a bad state, and we want to make FPS games as amazing as possible.
They wanted to attract the players who
grew up playing Halo.
I'm just putting this out there as a guy who's been a fan of Halo for so much of my life that my first word to successfully read out loud in front of my family was...
Those who are
tired of playing the same Call of Duty every year.
In case Activision Blizzard hadn't already persuaded us that Call of Duty had turned into a conveyor belt of generic products in the gaming space, and the ones who
wish we could have Titanfall 3.
Yeah, dude, I gotta re-download Titanfall. What are we doing? I mean, we just got word that Titanfall 3, the extraction shooter, just got canceled, so not like we're gonna get our Titanfall fix from another game. Their ideal customer is somebody who thinks FPS games aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe their fondest Battlefield memories are from Bad Company 2 or maybe Battlefield 4. Players that are aged at least in their mid to late 20s.
Me.
And if you've seen enough of my content and it resonates with you, especially about FPS games, you too are the target audience. They see how unhappy the internet has become with a lot of high-profile FPS games, and they thought, we can be the ones to win over this angry, nostalgia-filled demographic who prefer the genre as it was 10 to 20 years ago. And what is the easiest way to get attention from our demographic? Well, if the most popular gaming YouTube trends are any indication,
it's simple.
Be critical of modern games. And this sounds great, finally, a studio that shares our ideals, that get where we're coming from. Let's support them on this alone. Until you remember that without the walk, the talk is no different from Mr. Krabs. Cheap. We want to make FPS great again. Okay, Splitgate 2, let's hold you up to the light to see just how different you really are from other modern FPS games. Remember, you made us do this. You're the ones who said your game was going to be different and all your competitors are garbage. I didn't say that, you did. Let's list out some common traits in the genre today, not focusing on what's good and bad necessarily, just what's there. Off the top of my head, we've got free-to-play, a focus on large-scale elimination modes, think like battle royales or extraction shooters, in-game purchases for currency, $20+ skins, some microtransactions that are more expensive than entire premium games even with the recent price hikes, purchases that impact gameplay like weapons or XP, the majority of cosmetic customization locked behind paywalls, drip-fed content of things that should have been there at launch, functionality issues at launch, strict skill-based matchmaking for maximum retention like we're a bunch of lab rats chasing cheese, and less overall content with an emphasis on replayability of said less content. If I missed anything, please do shout it out in the comments. Now, what of these traits exist in Splitgate 2 right now? Ian? He'll never see this, but I'm gonna direct it to him anyway. Exactly what about Splitgate 2 is any different from other shooters on the market right now? Yes, you have portals, great gimmick when I remember to bother using them, and your game appeared to work great at launch. I only had some lag on a couple of occasions, so congratulations on the bare minimum. I don't see any way to buy better weapons or upgrades in the game right now, so that's great news. And it's too early to tell, but I think your game does not have strict skill-based matchmaking, so if that's the case, bravo. I'll give you the same praise for that as I did X-Defiant. But also like X-Defiant, your game is so obviously inspired by other current live service games, and saying inspired is being generous. The big, massive, huge battle royale that was going to cure the world of hunger and disease is just COD Resurgence respawns and buy stations, plus Halo power weapons, plus Apex movement, gunplay and looting, plus portals. Seriously, I thought Ian was kidding when in one breath he went from all games are the same now, we're here to be different, to here's our brand new battle royale.
Hey, wait a minute, what happened?
That's it?
What?
But nope, he just pimp walked right off the stage with his big bat like he just told the world how to cure cancer. Most of modern FPS's worst traits are in Splitgate 2 right now, so in what way does this game make FPS great again? If you look at the screen, this is exactly what I mean when I say sometimes using enemy positioning for marketing is dishonest. If we only looked at some of the marketing phrases or ideals shared, we see what should be a great game that reminds us of using entire snow days to grind out Modern Warfare 2. But if we remove those words and only look at what was actually delivered, we see a forgettable, derivative, live service shooter that if not for the hat and the microtransaction fiasco, most gaming channels wouldn't even bother talking about this game unless they were paid to or something. I mean, I've seen at least 2 YouTuber reviews of Splitgate 2 sponsored by Splitgate 2 just in the last week, so make of that what you will. Like I said last video, you can think the game's fun. I'm not here to argue that with anybody. A free game that just turns out to be mid is perfectly tolerable to me, while blatant hypocrisy and marketing dishonesty to try to manipulate an audience into playing it is not. This totally artificial mentality of support this game because they're different, they actually care about us, is nothing more than a byproduct of a marketing strategy. It's certainly not an earned result of the actual game. We can see right through this "we're so transparent and genuine, we want what you want" act. All we have to do is follow the contradictions. The guy who says we're better than other FPS games and says he wishes we could have Titanfall 3 proudly announces a rip-off BR that plays almost just like Apex, the BR that got Titanfall 3 canceled in the first place. In one sentence, Ian tells us how important ranked modes and grinding weapon mastery camos are to him. In the next, he's telling us that's gonna be added later as drip-fed content because the modern gaming gods don't allow someone to release a finished product anymore. 1047 claps back on social media defending their $80 cosmetic bundle because it's complex animations and the game is free. Then when they realize the internet's not on their side about it, they say, well, that's not the 1047 way, we're gonna discount that immediately. If it wasn't the 1047 way and goes against your company's ideals, one, it wouldn't have been there. I don't buy the excuse that it was an ex-dev from COD's fault and the CEO just didn't catch it for a second. And two, even if it was there by accident, 1047 wouldn't have publicly defended it at first. They would have jumped straight to an apology and a refund. A real refund, by the way, not Coin refunds. Refunding an in-game currency is not a refund. 1047 still gets all their money. Ian says, I'm not apologizing for wearing the hat. Then when he realizes it's causing more strife than support in the Splitgate community, he apologizes for wearing the hat. Because of some people's perception it was politically motivated, mind you. Not because it's a misleading slogan to come from such an unoriginal game. And a company that makes changes based on fan feedback is a good thing. My point is that it's obvious to me that Ian and 1047 have no problem copying the competitors, preaching how different they are while they do it, and not actually acting different until they're forced to respond to bad publicity for their hypocrisy. What is great about that? These half apologies given through smirks and promises that conflict with the actual state of the game are just like my bank account, empty. That was a little dark, I don't know. Give me better versions of that joke in the comments so I can steal one in a later video. Anywho, any new game can claim to be the next savior of gaming, but just remember, if every line of code in it looks no different than what we already have, Jon Snow says it best.
You're not different. You're just more of the same.
If you like the marketing and target audience angles in my videos, here's one I did for Black Ops 6 back when I gave my best guess on who their target audience was. Hint, it's not me. As always, thanks for watching. Carry on, you kings.